What's up everyone, Terraquake here, and welcome to the next walkthrough here on the channel. Today starts our Pokemon Platinum adventure here in the Sinnoh region. So yeah, I am very excited to hop into the Gen 4 games. You know, we're moving on from the Game Boy era of Pokemon to the DS era. And Gen 4 is very nostalgic for me. It is the generation that got me into Pokemon when I was younger. So Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, those are like my favorite games out of the entire franchise. And I am just super pumped to do a walkthrough on them. Now, very quickly, if you're wondering why I'm playing Platinum instead of Diamond and Pearl, because in my other walkthroughs I did like, you know, Pokemon Ruby, Pokemon Silver, Pokemon Blue, instead of, you know, Yellow, Crystal, or Emerald. Well, that is because, first of all, it's actually been a long time since I've played Pokemon Platinum. You know, we got Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl last year, and I've played through Diamond and Pearl many times, and I just want to play through Platinum again. You know, I want to do the Distortion World again, and all that good stuff. And second of all, Pokemon Platinum definitely fixes a lot of the issues that Pokemon Diamond and Pearl had. For example, like Diamond and Pearl, I'm sure you guys all know, were kind of known for being relatively slow, but that is why I'm doing Platinum, because the game moves a little bit quicker and it's just a bit more convenient. With all that out of the way though, let's hop right into this journey, man. This is gonna be pretty freaking awesome. I'm super pumped. And as you open up the game, you're going to be greeted by the brand new Pokemon Professor, Professor Rowan. And other than Oak, you know, this is the third new professor that we're seeing on one of these like starting screens, because even in the Johto games, you still saw Professor Oak. And then of course, Gen 3 had Birch. I almost forgot his name for a second. But yeah, anyways, he is going to ask if we need any info. I think this is like the first time that they're doing this stuff, but I'm a Pokemon master, man. I don't need no info. Now, he's gonna ask you to hit a button on the bottom screen. It's basically like the middle of a Pokeball. So, there we go. I went ahead and hit it, and it brings out a Baneri. So, yeah, one of the new Generation 4 Pokemon. I say new, you know, I'm recording walkthroughs in 2022, which, by the way, if you're new to the channel, hey, I'm Terraquake. I make Pokemon walkthroughs in the year 2022 because I want to. That's about it. But anyways, after a little bit of an introduction, we are going to be given the option to choose a boy or a girl. I'm going to go with the boy as per usual. And unfortunately, this isn't like the Nintendo Switch games yet, so I can't fit in Terraquake. So I'm just going to go with TQ for short. You already know. That is right, Rowan, my name is TQ. And before we hop into our adventure, apparently we have a friend, and he looks pretty cool, and I'm sure you guys can probably already guess that this is going to be your rival. Now, you can give him a name if you want. You can also give him one of these default names, and I'm actually just going to give him the name Barry, because I'm pretty sure that is like the, you know, typical name for him. I'm pretty sure that's the one in the anime and stuff. So, yeah, just like I did with Gary back in Fire Red and Leaf Green and Pokemon Blue and that stuff. But now that we have that all out of the way, it is time to hop right into the world of Pokemon, and we shrink down to miniature size, because, man, if we went out into the Pokemon world in that size, then we would just look like a freaking giant. Anyways, this Pokemon game is gonna start up pretty interestingly with like you watching a broadcast on TV. And yeah, it's talking about Professor Rowan returning from the Kanto region, so it's kind of cool that it references that, but let's go ahead and get out of there. And that concludes a special little program that we were watching in our bedroom, but we shouldn't be watching TV. We've got an adventure to get started. So I'm going to quickly switch the text speed to fast. I'd recommend you do that, and I'll look for a cool little frame here. This one kind of looks like a Pokeball, sort of, with like the white and the red. Really a lot of these are pretty cool, actually. You know, they're definitely better than the ones from the previous games. And I think, oh, there's a little throwback one to Generation 1. I think I am going to go with that little Pokeball one. I mean, you can always change this stuff later if you want. Now, unfortunately, in these games, oh, well, first of all, Barry's just gonna barge into our house. you know, because we totally let him in. He's freaking out about Professor Rowan being on TV. And then again, I guess I can't be talking because we barge into people's houses too. But also, I'm pretty sure in this game, as I was saying, there is not a there is not a potion in the PC. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it just gives you some Pokemon basics. So if you're new to Pokemon, you might want to look at that. For now, we are going to head on downstairs, and our mom is going to have some stuff to tell us. She's going to say that Barry already wants to meet us and stuff. He was in such a hurry. And before we get out the door, our mom's gonna remind us that the wild grass is dangerous, you know? We could run into Pokemon, oh my gosh! If we ran into a Bidoof, man, we'd be screwed. Anyways, you're actually not gonna wanna head out of Twinleaf Town just yet. Also, look, there's like snow on the ground, that's pretty nice. But yeah, this is Twinleaf Town, there's literally 4 houses here. Nothing much going on, but before you leave, you're gonna wanna come over to your rival's house and thud! Oh man, I love these little boxes of text. You're not going to see too many of them in this game, so cherish the moment. But yeah, it's like, you know, these super large letters. And Barry just gave us a concussion. But yeah, he's going to say that he's going to see Professor Rowan in the town next to us, but then he forgot something upstairs. So we have to head on inside. And yeah, Barry, he is the type of rival that just can't wait to get a Pokemon, can't wait to get going on his journey. He's very energetic, and we're just going to be having to beat him up in Pokemon battles a couple of times in this series. Also, he's finding us like $10 million if we're late. I mean, dude, you can run around and stuff. I don't have running shoes yet. I have to freaking walk everywhere, man. Anyways, with that little conversation done, you can head out of the town onto Route 201. I'm not really sure why the route started in the 200s in this game, but whatever. It is what it is. So, Barry says that in order to get to the lab, we need to go through this grass because this is Route 201, that's going to take us to the next town. However, we don't have Pokemon yet, so he thinks we can just sprint through the grass as fast as possible and get to Sandrum Town just fine. However, the funny thing is, running through grass actually increases the encounter rate for wild Pokemon. Hey, and there's that large text again. But yeah, luckily, before he runs in there and freaking dies, Professor Rowan's gonna come out of nowhere and save us. So luckily, he was already over in the Verity Lakefront, or Lake Verity, whatever is over in that direction. Sometimes I get the lakes confused in this game. But yeah, he's gonna talk for a bit. He's gonna decide if we should really be Pokemon trainers. And you could say no to that question right there, to if you love Pokemon. But if you say no, you're just gonna get asked over and over again until you say yes. Same with that question. So yeah, I like this part because Rowan's like, oh, a pair of reckless kids? They seem perfect to give Pokemon to. And mind you, they're like super rare starter Pokemon that not many other people have. So yeah, Rowan is gonna trust us enough to give us the starter Pokemon. And Dawn is gonna show up with his briefcase, and even she's a little skeptical about giving us the Pokemon. She's like, hold on, these are just 2 10-year-old kids that don't even have a single Pokemon yet. But Rowan's like, no, it'll be fine, they can get a Pokemon. So yeah, Barry's like so excited, he can't believe this is happening because, you know, to be fair, we didn't even think this was gonna happen today. We were just trying to get to the lab. But yeah, Barry's gonna let us choose first. So let's not go that way because we're just locked in like these 2 tiles, I guess. But yeah, let's open up the briefcase and take a look at the 3 starters. So Gen 4 is definitely one of my favorite trio of starters. And if you don't know me yet, Turtwig right here, the Tiny Leaf Pokemon, is my favorite Pokemon of all time. You know, this entire evolution line is freaking awesome. And then to the right of that, you have Chimchar, the Chimp Pokemon, the Fire type, and then Piplup, the Penguin Pokemon, which is water, and of course Turtwig is grass. So you've got your good old water, grass, fire trio, and really all 3 are very good options. You know, Piplup becomes a water steel type, Chimchar becomes a fire fighting, Turtwig becomes a ground grass, so they all get a second typing, which is really freaking sick. But yeah, I've already planned out my team for this series like I typically do with my walkthroughs. And you guys might be surprised because, well, first of all, I'm not going with Piplup because actually the last time I played through Gen 4, I'm pretty sure I used Piplup. And even though Turtwig is my favorite Pokemon, I don't want to use them. I am actually going with Chimchar. And believe it or not, I've only used Chimchar like once. in all of the save files that I have with Generation 4. So, yeah, that is pretty crazy because I know Chimchar, I think, is like the most popular option. But yeah, now Rowan and Don are going to go off to Sanjum Town, back to his lab. And before we can even move, Barry is going to challenge us to the first rival battle. Now, if you didn't see there, he, of course, chose the starter. That is super effective against us because that is how all rivals go. But yeah, we're going to answer yes. Please tell me I'm not getting the hiccups in episode 1 of Pokemon Platinum. But here we go. Pokemon Trainer Barry, our brand new rival, and he's got Piplup, of course, because I went with Chimchar. Now, right off the bat, you are just going to have, like, either Growl or Leer, and then you're going to have, like, Pound, Scratch, or Tackle. Now, Piplup actually benefits here at the start because Pound, I think, is, like, 40 base power, so it's just barely better than the other moves, and it's also 100% accurate, unlike Tackle. So hopefully I can still, you know, come out with the victory. He did go for Growl. He's still going for Growl, so this could be a little scary, but maybe we'll just crit. You know, we don't have a potion yet. Usually you sometimes do have a potion. And yeah, look at that damage, 4 HP from Pound. So we'll just see if we can brute force our way through this fight. Now, in case you guys are wondering, like, oh, are you really about to get the typical Sinnoh team with like Infernape and then Staraptor and Lucario and Garchomp? No, I'm actually really excited to get into this walkthrough because, in my opinion, I feel like I'm using a very interesting team. So I am really pumped to use this team. Most of these Pokemon that I'm going to use, I've never had on my team before, unlike Chimchar, of course. Or sorry, unlike Chimchar, who I have had on my teams before. And again, I've only used Chimchar once though, so you know, I have used him before, but it has been a hot minute, that is for sure. Now, luckily, the rival is kind of dumb. You know, his AI isn't the best. As long as he doesn't crit with a Pound, then we should be pretty good, I think. Oh gosh, wait, this might be close. Is one more Scratch gonna do it? Chimchar, please don't lose the first battle, man. I'm giving you a chance here. There we go, okay. I wasn't too sure. All of those Growls were really getting to us. But this will be enough experience to get to level 6. So there we go. Chimchar is now at level 6 and almost halfway to level 7. Pretty awesome. Barry can't believe that he lost. He's like, oh my gosh, how did this happen? I suck at Pokemon. And I'm like, yeah, Barry, you do suck. So we're going to head back to our home where our mom is making us dinner or something. And she's like, oh my goodness, that actually happened? Whoa, you got a starter Pokemon? So yeah, this is kind of the time where we break the news to her that we're about to go on a Pokemon journey and stuff. And now we are gonna get the running shoes, which is very nice. We won't have to walk around anymore. Let's go. So that is very cool. We can be just like Barry, you know, running around everywhere. And speaking of Barry, even though we were just in Route 201, we're gonna see him again. And apparently, he wants to go look after a legendary Pokemon that is to the left at Lake Verity. And he is correct in that there is a legendary Pokemon that lives in this lake. But, like, we just started our Pokemon journey. We're not going to be able to get a legendary Pokemon. However, another little cutscene will take place in here. And this is going to be a very subtle introduction to the evil team. So I'm sure you guys all know who this is. He's kind of going on about time and space. His name is Cyrus. He's got crazy blue hair. I like to call him Sonic because, in my opinion, that's who he looks like. But yeah, we're kind of just left a little confused, you know? Like, what was that guy going on about? He's freaking crazy. And I'm like, yeah, Barry, he is freaking crazy. Anyways, then we hear a little cry of one of the legendaries, and Barry's like, oh my gosh, what was that? We gotta catch it. But then he realizes that we don't have Pokeballs. So yeah, watch, he's even gonna spell it out. P-O-K, don't forget the accent on the E. So yeah, I find that pretty funny. I do like Barry, even though he's not your typical rival that's like super mean like Gary or Silver. You know, he is pretty funny at times. And other than that, there's not much you can really do up here. You can't surf yet or anything. So don't worry about trying to get the legendary. You don't even have to return here until way later on in the game. Now, in order to go get Pokeballs, we're going to want to head over to Sanjum Town, which is the town located right next to Twin Leaf. But first, we're going to explore Route 201 a bit. And I'm actually going to backtrack because there is a hidden item that you can get already, and it is a hidden tiny mushroom. So nothing too crazy, you can just sell that for a bit of money, but at the beginning of the game, that definitely comes in handy. So there is some grass on this route. I don't think I'll get into the Pokemon that you can capture here until we get Pokeballs, because, you know, that just makes sense. But be sure to talk to this Pokemart employee. He will give you a free potion. Could have used that earlier when we were taking on our rival. Now, it looks like we will see one of the new Pokemon here, and that is Kricketot. That's actually one of the rarer encounters on this route. Kricketot, a cool little bug type, evolves very early on in the game. And I'm not even going to be able to battle you. Yeah, I just forgot that. This thing knows Bide. And that's its only move right now, but don't get fooled by it, because Bide is, of course, that move that stores all the damage it takes for 2 turns and then releases it back for double damage. So it could definitely be pretty scary. Now, we meet up with Dawn here, and by the way, if you chose the girl character, this will be Lucas as the boy character. And there's Barry again, giving us another concussion, dude. I was barely recovering from my first one. But yeah, Barry apparently got the Pokedex from Professor Rowan, but he doesn't really care about the Pokedex. He just wants to be super strong. So we are going to be a lot more civil and, you know, stroll on in here, not run around through the door and everything. And this is going to be the chance where you can nickname your starter. So yeah, he's going to ask if you want to nickname him. And I haven't really thought of a name, but I was thinking of, you know, what are some famous monkeys and stuff. And I thought of Curious George. That's a cartoon that I used to watch when I was younger. So we've got George the Chimchar. I think that's a perfect name. And if you don't know the cartoon Curious George, then did you have a childhood, man? That show was great. But yeah, we're going to have to answer yes to another one of his questions, because that will give us the Pokédex. And of course, that's going to record data automatically of all the Pokemon. So yeah, Dawn's super excited. Apparently, if we chose, I think it was a Turtwig she just said, then we would have had the same Pokemon, but that's actually not true, because I'm pretty sure it's like whichever third starter, you know, gets left behind, that's the one that she says, meaning you can never have the same Pokemon as her. So Dawn is already lying to us. Maybe she's the real evil boss. No, that's not it. Alright, so we got the Pokedex, and Dawn says that she can kind of give us a little tutorial once we come out of the lab here. Oh, and there she is. She's saying Turtwig now. Yeah, so Dawn, stop lying. I know you're lying. I could restart the game and pick Turtwig, and you would say, you know, freaking Piplup, I think. Anyways, before we actually get to this little tutorial portion, Rowan's gonna catch up with us, and there's that text again. I just feel like they're yelling at us, like, take him! Even though we're like a step in front of him. But yeah, this is actually pretty nice, because this doesn't happen in Diamond and Pearl, but Rowan will give you the TM for Return. Now, Return is a very solid move. It's a normal type move, and the power it does is based on your Pokemon's happiness. The higher the happiness, the more damage it does. So at the beginning of the game, it's not really going to be too great, but I would definitely recommend teaching it to like your starter Pokemon or some Pokemon you get earlier in the game, because that'll just allow its happiness to keep on building. And maybe if you get a Pokemon that doesn't have a good attacking move, then you can even teach it Return, and, you know, even with not that much happiness, it's still decent. And anyways, Dawn's going to show us the Pokemon Center, the Pokemart. We know this stuff by now. You heal your Pokemon in the red roof / orange roof, whichever one it is. The world may never know. And you buy items in the blue roof. Now, she's going to head up to Route 202, where she's going to teach us how to catch a Pokemon. But before we can do that, we've got to head back to Twin Leaf Town to talk to our mom. Because, yeah, now we're going to tell her that, you know, we're going on an adventure. Mom, we're never going to see you again. Except, you know, the funny thing is, I'm pretty sure we see her in Hearthome City. Unless that's only Diamond and Pearl. I kind of forget. But anyways, Mom, I hate to say it, you're kind of just going to be alone here in the house. You don't have a husband. You don't have another kid to look after. You don't have a Pokemon to keep you company. So I don't really know what our mom does. But she does give us the journal, which is pretty cool. Basically, the journal, every time you open up the game, maybe if you've been offline for a while, then you will, I don't know, it kind of just gives you like a list of things that you did recently, so you can kind of get caught back up. Now, right here is Barry's mom, who comes barging into our house, and she meant to give Barry a parcel with like some supplies in it, but we all know Barry, he's already in freaking Jubilife City by now, so Unfortunately, we have to run an errand for his mom, and we'll eventually meet back up with him and to give him the parcel. But other than that, that's it. So we can finally head out of Twin Leaf Town and move on to Route 201, but that'll be happening in the next episode. That is the end of part 1 of the Pokemon Platinum walkthrough. I hope you guys enjoyed. Look out for part 2 tomorrow. We're trying to keep up the daily upload streak on the channel. And yeah, have a great rest of your day, and until next time, deuces!